Hello YouTube, hello Vitash Davinsky, my number one fan. Today I have a losing gameplay to review, but I really enjoy trying things out in this game, so I gotta share. When I'm playing a solo matchup like this, I'm sizing out the opponent as if I'm going to play them one-on-one. This matchup to me is very challenging because that team there is all burst damage. They've also got mobility, heal, control, and invisibility. Despite the challenging team comp, if I am just aware of where Batman is at all times and earn my gold as always, I should be able to push the towers and secure other objectives while Batman is roaming around. Here we cut out a Scud who has already used his movement skill and his flicker, so we can just pick him off by sealing off his escape route. On the minimap I see the Tulin hiding in the bushes for me. If I had my 2 charges of Diamond Dust ready, maybe I could have been a little bit more aggressive. I was planning on poking down the Tulin while doing my next lane clear, but then I see Batman. From his avatar icon, I can also tell that he's almost full health. If Batman is showing himself here, he's probably going to gank bottom pretty soon, so I'm gonna eat into my mana and wave clear this real fast. Luckily, Florentino made quick work of this Batman. I think Batman was only at level 3. Tulin is gonna escape over the wall. I thought he was gonna come around back out the mid lane. Since Tulin also decided to gank bottom, we're gonna have a 4-on-3 matchup here. It's gonna be a good chance for us to push this bottom tower. Unfortunately, although I do get the double freeze, we only managed to take out Peura. The caph uses the flicker to get away from my killing blow. And then I see Tulin going back to mid, so I'm gonna have to go and protect my own mid tower. I switched over to building some more AP damage, and I really wanted to recall to regain my mana, but I'm too slow. The new wave is here. Tulin even makes a mistake and gets frozen while my ult comes online, but I just don't have the mana to take him out. Because of my recall, Tulin's gonna be able to rotate much faster than myself. However, my team does a good job killing Batman and I made it on time. And since Florentino is there clearing my mid wave for me and Tulin is also down here in the party, I decided to stay and see what we can get out of this. Florentino does a great thing and came down to help out. And just when he comes down, we get this nice double freeze with Lumber's knockup, and we're gonna get 2 kills out of that. In truth, I didn't plan on staying down here much longer, but Batman showed up, and I'm thinking he's gonna go for this Lumber or this Hayate because they're a bit lower on health than I or Florentino am. Reviewing this video, I think Batman actually cut right between Florentino and myself to get to this Hayate under the tower, which was to me a little bit unexpected because Lumber was so much lower on health. Anticipating where Batman will be and who he's going to strike next is going to be super important for me because I plan to put that Diamond Dust right where he's going to strike and counter him with my own damage. Unfortunately, the wave died out long before we could take down the tower, and Hayate decided to retreat instead of pushing on the pressure. At this point in the game though, I was feeling pretty confident that tower was gonna fall. But keep an eye out for caph and the Batman because they're about to make a comeback for this game. Starting with this play. Hayate seems to be a little bit nervous about the bottom. He says they're way too strong for me down there. So he tries to come help me in the middle and chases after this Tulin while I decided to go back and recover some mana. He gets caught out by Batman who instead of camping, he's actually trying to steal our blue. I noticed this, but a little too late as I tried to contest our blue back. Then Wyro comes flying in, but he's way too late to the fight. I think he was gonna die, so I don't know why I went to help him. And sure enough, he dies, and then I remembered Wyro's passive. I tried to step on all 3 of those little knobs, and instead I'm gonna die myself. Everything was pretty chaotic from this point because everyone is trying to engage without actually rallying for a group fight. I do manage to get a double kill here to seemingly pull ourselves together, but actually 2 of our guys had died and the other 2 were on low health, so this was a complete loss for us. What I do next here is really just to take out my minion waves and to not twiddle my thumbs. What I really should have done was maybe to clear out my jungle and see if there's any other safe objectives to take. And oh no, a terrible fight brewing here. Caph, I think, was just out there doing her ultimate while I tried to save our dying teammates when I should have really went for the backline. I'm pretty scared of that burst damage, and I'm thinking about how I can change up my equipment in order to increase survivability and land more freezes for the team. I pick up Ria's Blessing for that extra magic lifesteal, but it's gonna take me a while to build it up. Here, Wario charging in just created too much space in the middle, and as a squishy target, I didn't feel like I was able to fill that void. I should have probably held up using my skills and instead body blocked that Thunderbird from hitting our lumber. The tower fell, and Hayate fearlessly charges in to defend the second tower with me while taking out Peura in the process. He should have retreated right away, but instead he went on chasing and I wasn't able to save him. Just check out that caph in her siege mode. I got 2 crits from her and I was a goner. We're behind on gold. And in order to survive caph a little bit more, I thought to change out my boots for some damage reduction and also pick up Mail of Pain as my next item in order to turn the tides a little bit. Our Florentino actually gets a nice shutdown kill on the enemy caph and also the mage Tulin. So this means that we're able to push a little bit. Hayate does a great thing. He's gonna start out on the split push towards the bottom lane, and Florentino returns, so him and we can push the mid lane. Glancing up at the death counter, I know the enemy is about to revive. And besides, Batman never died, so he's probably gonna be the first one to arrive. As soon as I see his Batman marker, I put some distance between myself and Florentino. Essentially, I'm inviting him to attack me. I put a Diamond Dust in front of myself, and I caught myself a Batman. Notice I was pretty surprised that this worked at all, and in fact, if Lumber hadn't been there to follow up with the little stun there, I think Batman might have been able to recover. On the macro side of things, I think this was a pretty crucial fight. Hayate did a great thing and split push all the way to the high ground tower. But I actually think that he should have just pushed all the way into the high ground tower. That would have forced the enemy team to spend some time defending their base and dealing with the super minions. Anyway, in a comeback game, I'm looking to earn as much gold off the map as possible. That way we can even out the playing field. So I'm going to go ahead and take as much jungle as I can if my jungler is not going to take it, and just help push the towers. I kind of made a mistake here where I went to help middle when we could have probably pushed the top tower one more time. At the very least to just clear the next minion wave so that our minion wave can start to deal chip damage to their towers. Back on the topic of Batman, here's a pretty good team fight I thought. As soon as we saw the symbol appear, we immediately collapsed and tried to defend ourselves against him. And it's this kind of fight that excites me about this game because, for one, take a look at where I flickered. I flickered in such a way that Scud was able to catch up and stun me out of my ult. But what if I took one more step to the left and flickered over the wall? After this team fight, I'm gonna pick up my Blade of Eternity, or at least start to build it. Oh my word, we get pretty lucky here when we try to freeze the Scud for a second time and Batman waltz in to also get stunned. Batman is pretty squishy, as you can see. With a stun and a splash, I'm able to take him right out. This is a good result for us, and we're able to convert this into a tower push. I'm actually thinking at this point, come on Hayate, come help us push and take out the high ground tower. Unfortunately, Hayate had other plans, and he's probably thinking that it's the 15-minute mark, he wants the Enraged Abyssal Dragon. I think taking the Abyssal Dragon after taking out the high ground tower would have been a better choice. When we retreated, we would be able to focus down the Abyssal Dragon and probably take it out as well. This fight probably wouldn't have really mattered if we had stuck together and ended up being able to push another tower or two. But here our team is unfortunately caught out of rotation a little bit, where I'm doing the jungle, 2 tanks are up top, actually make that almost 3 tanks are up top, and Hayate just gets picked off even though he got that Abyssal Stone. Wario and I were way too late to help, and he goes walking right into a bush with 3 enemy characters. Fortunately, I am just able to buy my Blade of Eternity so that I can at least survive the fight, but I was pretty bummed out that I'm gonna have to pop my revive right here. The revive would have been really nice for, well, the last fight that you will see. With a little poking and prodding, I was able to take out the caph, but not without them being able to take out a high ground tower first. I'm going to then do something that I don't usually do, which is to replace my Blade of Eternity with the Arctic Orb. This is because I felt like I would die if I don't have at least some sort of defense. And I've also seen a lot of pro players do this. They would switch it out with an Arctic orb and use it to turn engagements right around. In hindsight, we probably shouldn't take this darkslayer with one man down, but I'm gonna position myself right in this bush. Sure enough, everybody collides on me, and I hoped to get some freezes, but honestly, for one of the first times using this Arctic orb, I was way too nervous and popped it way too soon. Playing this back in slow motion, I think Batman ended up throwing the boomerang on me and using his forearm strike before using his ultimate to dash away from my freeze. You should also notice that Peura's ult was the one to stun us out of our own ultimate. And again, the mistake was to leave the caph in the backline doing whatever she wanted to. I really want to learn how to use this Arctic orb properly. And perhaps it's just about me being in the wrong place at the wrong time here. I should have probably stayed on the side and freezed the enemy who is trying to get to one of my tanks, let's say. Anyway, lots of fun, and I learned quite a bit from trying things out in this game. If you have fun watching this video, hit that like button, subscribe and share. We will see you next time.